is Russ. Yeah, I'm back on the road again. So what am I riding today? Hey, take a guess. Always make a guess. Yeah, I'm riding the Rad Power Bikes Rad Rover 5. The modified Rad Rover 5. It's been a while since I've been on this bike. I did take it out once, as you saw earlier in the week. Took it out and I ran into my former student who rode an e-trike. But I just kind of rode it around the forest preserves. I decided, excuse me, I'm burping up all the food again. I decided I would take this bike out to Lake Arlington in Arlington Heights. And then we'll also head over to the Prospect Heights Trail. We've done these things in the past, but there's so many new people, and I know not all of you guys look at the old videos. You should. There's a lot of good information in those fun rides. So there's a lot of new people. I figured, they haven't seen it. Let's go out there. And it's early in the morning. What time is it now? It's about 9:37 a.m. and the weather is about 70 degrees right now. So this is my ideal temperature to ride. You got a nice cool breeze. It's not real hot out yet. And so I said, yeah, let's go out. Now the Rad Rover 5, as you know, is what I consider my long distance bike, where I can go some distance. Now, I think the new long distance bike probably is the electric bike company Model S at this point. It's got more battery than anything else. And but I'm taking this one because this is the original. This is the OG. And the OG. Do you guys know what OG stands for? The original Gangster. I'm hip. I can give you some of these things the kids say today. Yeah, this is the OG bike, and so figure I'd give it a ride. So this bike now has 3,266 miles on it. Now it would have been more, but we had bikes from other companies last year and this year, of course, for reviews, and I've been taking those bikes out, and this bike kind of got neglected. You might think, well, 3,266 miles doesn't sound too neglected. Well, it was neglected last year. Yeah, the very first year I had the bike, I did about 2,600 miles on it. Then we added some more, and then all the other bikes started happening as well, and next thing you know, we have 3,266 miles on here. So the Rad Rover 5 is a Class 2 bike, but you can unlock it to go a little bit faster if you want. It can go up to 25 miles per hour. And of course, that's what I ended up doing. Sometimes you have to compete with the cars on the road, But in general, I'd say I typically ride, well, how do I ride? About 18 to 22 miles per hour on average, I would say, somewhere in between there. So, yeah, if you're more conservative, you get a little bit more life out of your battery. You get a little more range, right? But I have a second battery. And I changed out this battery, as you know. It's got the unit pack power triangle battery in there. Went from 48 volts, I moved it to a 52 volt system with 20 amp hours, and I have a second triangle battery strapped to the rear rack. And that is the same identical battery, 52 volts, 20 amp hours. So I carry 40 amp hours with me here. And so between the two, in the heyday when the battery was brand new, I don't know how it is today, of course, as batteries wear, you do tend to maybe lose a little bit. But I got as much as like 44 miles out of one battery, which to me is an amazing feat, considering how heavy I was. I think the original Rad batteries, when I had it, was 48 volts at 14 amp hours. I was able to do about 28 miles to 30 miles if I was really conservative by pedaling and throttling. Okay, but more than likely it was more closer to 25, 26 miles out of it. So when I was able to get like 44 miles out of that first time out with that triangle battery, I was like, wow, what range. Today I don't think I can get that much. I think as batteries wear, you don't get the full amount anymore. I don't know what the full amount is at this point. I haven't tested it, and of course, you know, this is only the second ride, and I didn't measure it the last ride, of course. I didn't use it all up. I just rode that short distance. So I have my Entity external light right here. It's flashing. I have the Rad Rover's tail light on. For some reason my front headlight is not working. I don't know why. I have to check that out. That's the one that comes with the bike itself. But the rear tail light is working, and I have it flashing right now. And of course I'm wearing my X-Needle helmet. That's flashing in the back, and of course the little light in the front as well. That's just for visibility, so people could see that you're coming. But yeah, don't rely on that to light up your entire path or something. It's not designed for that. It's not that big and powerful. But the rear on the helmet really stands out. People notice that. I mean, you're higher up, right? So they see it flashing, and that makes you more noticeable. And what I'm wearing is what I typically wear. I have the black UV protection shirt on. Yeah, that was given to me by my daughter and son-in-law. They gave me two of these things. One's black, one's gray. I haven't used the gray one yet. I've just been using this black one. And I've got my gloves on. I put the sunscreen on. I keep my wife happy about that. I really hate putting that stuff on. I really do, but yeah, I get really dark, so I really have to. So I put that on my face and my neck, put it on my nose, cheeks. So the saddle that's on here is the Bikeroo. This is one of the softer Bikeroo saddles. As you know, the Bikeroo saddles got harder than they should be, and so this one has the one that's a little bit softer. It's got a solid seat post. It's not a suspension on it. The bike has got a rear rack. It's got a front basket. All right, I'm gonna have to take a left at this stop sign up here. So we'll move over to the left side. You know, with the extreme weight that's on this bike right now, between me, the two batteries, the racks, pickup is not as fast on this bike as I'm used to on some of the other bikes. But this is how I rode for a solid year, and then a little bit more after that. There's a guy on a recumbent bike. I usually wave to the people who pass me. Sometimes they wave back, sometimes they don't. But yeah, we're all out having fun. That's the whole point of it, right? This guy is marking up the sidewalks. He's with probably with Julie. Julie is the firm that marks up sidewalks and streets in the event that you have some construction going on. They don't want you digging up power lines and stuff, right? That would be bad. Yeah, the last time I saw somebody that worked for Julie, I says, "Man, you guys are professional taggers." They had a good kick out of that. I'm sure other people have said that to them before. Yeah, they get paid to spray paint. So here's what we're doing today. I am going to Lake Arlington. I'll ride around Lake Arlington once. Then I think we'll head over to the Prospect Heights Trail. Then that will lead us out into Mount Prospect. Got to turn here. And there's a shopping center there called Randhurst Shopping Center. Is that what they call it now? It used to be Randhurst Mall. It used to be an indoor mall. They tore it apart many, many years ago and turned it into an outdoor shopping experience. I don't know. I kind of liked it when it was an indoor mall. But I don't know whether indoor malls are surviving at this point. I saw something on one of the YouTube videos saying that malls are dying. Yeah, so many people are buying things online now that retail outlets are really dying. And so, you know, to keep yourself alive in a mall is kind of tough to do. People aren't coming anymore. They're buying everything online. I don't know. I don't like that personally, but I do know that I order a lot of stuff online as well. I order things on Amazon, and it's just the convenience of it. But, you know, sometimes you have to see things firsthand, right? People say that about e-bikes. You know, they would like to try it before they buy it. But not every brand is available through bike shops. And so sometimes you have to order sight unseen. You know, many of our bikes are like that now. And there's some brands that you can go to a store like the Pedigo that I have. I think Aventon is also usually available at stores. So there are brands, you know, or the larger companies like Trek and the like. You can find those e-bikes at stores. But for the vast majority of e-bikes available, most of them are online. You know, you could be ordering from just about anywhere. China, the United States, for some companies, you know, like the electric bike company is a U.S. company. Euphree is an American company. Yeah, I mean, there's brands available. Pedigo is an American company. There's brands that are designed and based here in the United States, and then a lot of other brands are international brands, mostly from China. Yeah, somebody estimated over 300 brands of e-bikes. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I've told you guys that I've turned down 61 bikes now from companies. 61 bikes, that's a lot. I've accepted a number of bikes. I've had 20 bikes. So, and obviously I haven't hit up all the brands. So, think about that. That's just incredible. But I think you've got to really pick and choose. I mean, the way I do it is, if I've heard of the brand before, I do some research first before saying yes to reviewing their bike. And if I've never heard of it before, then I seriously look at it and say, does this bike brand have something to offer? Does the bike have something to offer that's different? I do look for stuff like that. Is the battery safe? Does it look like it would be safe for the people to purchase one of these? That kind of thing. I don't take everything, as you know. And it's getting to the point now that I'm beginning to wonder how many more I will end up taking. Because, like I said, when one comes in, something's going to have to go. And I've said that for a while, and I didn't do it. I only sold 4 of the bikes at this point. So there's quite a few in the house, and it's really taken over the house. I'm surprised my wife hasn't kicked me out of the house yet. It's in the living room, it's in the dining room, it's in the family room, it's in my office space, it's in the garage. A little bit all over the place. So I'm using Apple Maps right now to tell me how to go. And that guy took a chance. Wanted to beat the light and make his left turn. So I'm using Apple Maps at this point to go, and wherever it tells me to go, that's where I'm going. But I do tell it that I'm using a bike, so it usually will recommend streets that are bike friendly, but there's times that the streets are not bike friendly and you have no option. I mean, to get through it, you have to sometimes take those streets. But better to have it suggest some better streets. It might take you longer to get there because you're taking side streets, but yeah, I'd rather be safer if I can. We're just waiting at the light. There's a guy using a leaf blower. Grass clippings. I hope he doesn't blow it into me. This light is kind of long. Might be a good time to take some water. I do find I dry out quite a bit, and if you don't replenish the fluids, you get cramping and all sorts of stuff. Actually, the other day, the video I did where I ran into my photography student, yeah, I started cramping up right after that. I was cramping up, my hands were cramping, my leg was cramping. So usually what I do is I'll drink some stuff with electrolytes, so something like Powerade or Gatorade, something like that. I'll drink some water. They said, you know, if you just drink a whole bunch of water, that doesn't really replenish. You've gotta have some salt and everything in you as well. And if you're sweating things off and you don't replenish it, that's not good. You're gonna start cramping up. So definitely bring some water with you I think most people know you should bring some water with you on your bike rides, but I use the larger bottle. It's sitting down here by my front basket. It's a slightly larger bottle. It's made by Polar. They claim that the little aluminum, I don't know if that's aluminum, some wrapping around it keeps the bottle colder when you put the water in there. I don't think it does. I don't know who they're trying to kid. I don't think it does. All right. I don't think it does. I think, all right, I got to take a right over here. This is Palatine Road in front of us again. This is a divided highway, essentially. It's 4 lanes going in one direction, 4 lanes going in the other direction. And then on the sides, there's a couple more lanes, which is slower, and that's the side we're going to be taking. So I'm just going to let the guy know I'm turning right over here. Stick my arm out, let the guy in the back know that this is what's going to be happening. Then once we get down to a certain area, then at that point, see this guy in white, he went onto the area that's faster. We're going on the area that's 30 miles an hour. Where he's at is, I believe, 45 miles an hour. But we all know that a lot of these guys don't do 45, they go a lot faster than that. So yeah, the pickup on this bike is a little slower. That's for sure. Does not react as fast as my Magicycles or some of the other bike brands. It's okay, as long as you know what the characteristic of the bike is and you adapt, you can handle it, right? Now, a lot of times when I'm on roads like this, as you see, I'm not pushed up right up against the curb. I take about 1/3 of the lane. And the reason for that is that that'll irritate the driver behind me to actually go around me If you stay too close to the curb, he'll just push you closer to the curb. He won't move or anything. This way, if he wants to pass, he's got to go to the left lane. Some may honk at you, who knows, whatever. But it's okay, I don't care. I have the right to ride on the street just like they have the right to drive on the street. So there's a car behind me now. And I see he's moved over to the left lane, so now he's passing me. Okay, yeah, it works. And we're on a section that very few cars actually drive on. So it's actually okay for us to be on here. If I had to take the 45-mile-an-hour street, that side, yeah, I wouldn't like that at all. That's a little scary. Now, as we get up to that light, we will have to take a left-hand turn. Okay, that was a stop sign, but sorry, I missed it. No cars are on our side anyway. Yeah, sometimes you have good intentions, but you forget. You don't see it. Alright, so I'm going to move over to this lane. There's nobody behind me. We're behind this car now. So when he turns, we're turning. So now this guy in front of me, he has two options. He could take a total left turn, or he can merge into that 45-mile-an-hour lane. Some of the people do that. Some of them do a full turn. We're going to do a full turn. And like I said, there was a time when I wouldn't even get on the street. Now I'm kind of all over the place. Let's get some more water. It's drying out. Everyone's sneaking up a little bit. They sneak up, I'll sneak up. All right. Well, you know, Lake Arlington, it might actually be easy if where we are. I think it might actually be easier for us to just go first on the Prospect Heights Trail. I think. My arm out, let people know I'm going. Yeah, we're gonna hit the Prospect Heights Trail first, and then on the way back, if we're lucky, if I remember, knowing how bad my memory is, we'll try to hit Lake Arlington on the way back. Lake Arlington's further up ahead. Prospect Heights Trail entrance is just around the corner over here. So let's do that first. So like even like here, you see how this what do they call the side of the road? See, this is my memory just going. The shoulder. I'll tell you, it's terrible. The shoulder is kind of narrow. I don't like riding that. I'll ride on the street. Force those guys to move. Alright, we're going to turn here. Yeah, definitely the brakes are not as good as full hydraulics, but better than the regular one, but you just have to be aware. Alright, let's see what's going on here. They're doing some type of thing on the grass. What are they doing? No, they dug it up. I don't know why they dug it up. Dug it up and put some road hazard stuff there. Alright, here's the interesting thing about this path. It is, they kind of fixed this one a little bit more than some of the other sections of it. But still bumpy, as you can probably hear, and probably maybe see too. Like every few feet, there's a broken section or something. So this this city, or they call them villages out here, this village actually paid to have this repaved, restriped. But the other part of it, as we go further, they have not fixed it. Okay, let me get rid of this map, because we don't really need it at this point. Let's get through here first. Yeah, so this is relatively new asphalt, or at least a blacktop or something. All right, we can get rid of this map to be revisited later. I've been charging my phone. You know, many of our bikes have a little USB thing here. All right, somebody's at my front door. You know what it could be? Could be FedEx. I am expecting something from FedEx, and I don't know what it is that's coming. It did not say signature required, so I figured, well, I'm just going to go. A lot of times when FedEx says they're going to come out, they give you a time window like 10 to 2. Well, I don't want to hang around forever. So since it's something I don't know what it is in the first place, I don't know who sent me what. I think they said it was like 18 pounds. So I don't know who's sending me something. I'm going to use my Ring alarm here. See if I can see some history of what it could be, or who it could be. Problem is that, you know, it picks it up so slowly. Yeah, it's FedEx. Okay, I know what it is. I know what it is. I don't think he needs a signature for that. It's kind of big. It's a surprise for you guys. I'm not going to tell you what it is, because I got to wait for another section of it to come in, and then I could do a review of that product. I think you guys will find this one interesting. The thing is, I should head back. I think after this ride, immediately I got to head back. You don't want these porch pirates stealing your stuff, right? It could be disappearing on me. That would be bad. All right, so we know what it is. I can't tell you what it is. I'm going to keep it a surprise. I think you'll be quite surprised with this one. It's kind of nice, though. And did not require a signature. So you know right off the bat, it's not a bike, right? It's not a bike. It's something else. Something else that could be bike related. That might be a stretch, but you use it for your bike. You could use it for your bike. You could use it for part of your bike. And you can sit around and guess. You put your best guess. All right, so anyway, we are going through this. I think this is Wheeling that we're in. We're going through a couple of villages as we go down the path here. Now you notice there's high tension wires to my left. A lot of our bike paths are right by high tension wire areas, because they really can't use the land for much of anything when they've got wires above it. So they let them put bike paths and stuff around it. Some people will rent areas around there and then put a little garden and stuff up there, because it's just kind of like empty land if they just leave it. In this case, they have some of it's like preserves or something like that for I call them weeds. Plants. I'm not a botanist. I don't have an appreciation for a lot of the stuff that are plant-based, I guess. But yeah, sometimes they'll say, you know, they're letting the natural stuff grow. Places like this would be tough for my wife. She has allergies like you wouldn't believe, and so, you know, having everything in pollen and everything around here, she can't do it. A lot of times she rides with her mask on. When we were in Wisconsin, she didn't put a mask on. She did take the allergy pill, but that usually tries to knock her out. And then now she says that she thinks she's feeling the effects of the pollen and stuff that she took in while we were in Wisconsin. That's like a week later, and she still got issues. I think it would have been better had she put the mask on. But, you know, who wants to ride with a mask on? I mean, regular people don't even want to have a mask on when they're not riding a bike. Just walking around, they don't want to wear it. Why would you want to wear it while you're riding a bike? You should be enjoying the outside and stuff like that. But, you know, like I said, places like this would be terrible for her. Oh, off to the left. Let me whip the camera around there. That used to not be fenced like it is now, but that's like where the big power of everything gathers. You see to the left there. Yeah, kind of scary looking. I said that would be a good place for like a James Bond chase scene going up and down the high tension wire power plant. And you hear it clicking too. As I'm riding past it, you could hear the electricity clicking on the wires. Little dangerous, yes. I know how it is. I grew up with high tension wires right next to our house. Yeah, my parents moved us from Chicago to another town. I'll leave that nameless. And we were on a dead-end street, and we were at the end of the dead end, and the dead end was there because it had high-tension wires. And then they always said, well, is that safe? Is that not safe? Well, I'm still around. Maybe it's the thing that's messing up my memory. Gotta blame it on something. No, you'd hear it crackle, especially during the rain. You'd hear it crackling. And so that land, which was right next to us, obviously they don't do anything. It's just like a bunch of weeds and stuff growing there. It's probably why I don't have a appreciation for all this stuff, because we grew up next to weeds. It used to be a farmland. Yeah. It used to grow corn out there. I'll tell you the story. It's kind of interesting. They used to grow corn out there underneath the high tension wires. So they rented it to a farmer or something. So, and now this is a story that happened before we moved to this house. Okay, we used to live in Chicago. We moved to the suburbs. So our neighbors told this story to us. They said one day our neighbor decided middle of the night go out and steal some corn. There's a ton of corn. Nobody's gonna notice, right? So he's at night. He's out there. He's going through the cornfield, grabbing corn. Then he grabs onto a thing. Turns out to be someone's hand. Scared him to death. He goes running home. Turns out it was his next door neighbor. The other neighbor decided to do the same thing. They scared each other to death. Stealing corn. This is what they get for stealing corn. So that story circulated around the neighborhood, of course, and to this day we all have a laugh about it. So anyway, my parents, my mom wanted to rent part of the land that's right next to our house. So I think they charge you like $15 a year or something like that. Then you can use it and grow things. So she decided to do some gardening. She says, I want to grow some of the Chinese vegetables and some of the Chinese melons. I think it's called winter melon. For those who are Chinese, they'll know what it is. Well, that land was so fertile. The very first year we did it, these winter melons looked bigger than big watermelons. I'm telling you, it was humongous, and we had a whole bunch of them. So much so that we had to start giving stuff away. We couldn't eat it all. There was just too much. So we'd give it to relatives. We'd give it to people at church. And then our neighbor across the street, who was not Chinese, my mom brought some over to her, and she liked it so much. She goes, I really like these melons. She goes, do you happen to have any more seeds? And my mom, of course, had it. And of course, you could have more seeds from the melons. So she gave her a bunch, and then she started growing it. Well, it got to the point where, you know, my brother and I were helping my mom doing the gardening, and we really hated it. I really disliked gardening. And we wouldn't help my mom, and my mom finally gave up because her two lazy sons wouldn't do it. So, but our neighbor across the street, she continued with it, and she did so well with it. She grew everything. She did tomatoes and green beans and you name it, the winter melons, the Chinese melons and everything. Yeah, I think she was German. So, yeah, that was my experience as we were growing up. I still remember that stuff fondly. I mean, didn't live there forever. I mean, I lived there during, I think, from 8th grade until after I graduated college. And then I got married, and then I, you know, moved on, right? But yeah, I still remember that. And then during our high school reunions, you know, I'd see my neighbor there because we were the same age. Well, actually, he was a year older than me. I skipped 3rd grade. I don't know if I told you guys that. So I'm always a year younger than everybody else. But yeah, fond memories of friends from days gone by. Yeah, I've actually been in contact with even grade school friends. You know, they had classmates.com that put a lot of people together. And then Facebook happened and everyone got together. So everyone's still kind of connected. I've always said that, you know, the generation of my dad, he would never have kept in contact with anybody because, you know, they don't know where anyone goes. But now, with Facebook and everything, everybody knows where everybody's at. All right, so this is the Prospect Heights Trail that we're on. And I think as we move further in, we might be going into Mount Prospect. There should be a park up ahead. We'll kind of take it easy first. It's a good day for a bike ride. They're doing a bunch of construction out here. I wonder what they're doing. Yeah. So this hill up over here, during the winter months, kids will slide down it on sleds and everything. So they have a little walkway to go up it, and then the kids slide down. All right, we'll go over this bridge here. So they have some soccer nets here, so obviously they play soccer. They have baseball fields out here too. And I think this is a miniature golf section here. And then further on, there's a driving range. So you can practice your golf. Later on, during the summer months, kids will be out here for day camp. All right, I'm going to bring you to the outdoor mall, outdoor shopping center, outdoor shopping experience. Depends on how you want to spin it, right? So this is called River Trails Park District. I think if we cross the street, I think it's Mount Prospect on that side. It's this side, Prospect Heights. It could be. Now usually I take the side streets to get to there to avoid the major streets, right? Alright, time for some more water. Alright, people have asked how come your videos are so long. It's because my rides are long. I just keep it running. You guys keep me company, that's why I do it. Gives me somebody to talk to, otherwise it's kind of boring riding by yourself. Tell you little stories, talk about bikes, complain about this and that. So yeah, it's kind of long, but here's what I'm gonna tell you. If you lasted this long, if you've seen this up to this point and you're going, I can't believe I'm still with this guy, you don't have to stay the entire time. Nobody says you have to. You could watch it to the end, right? Or you can stop. Whenever you feel like stopping, you can stop, because YouTube will remember where you left off. You could start up again a little bit later on another day or whatever. Or you can just stop and you're done for that day and wait until tomorrow's video, right? But I'll tell you that those who hang around get to hear the words of wisdom that I impart on you. And sometimes we talk about some important things, and if you don't hang around, you don't get to hear it. I mean, none of my videos are really scripted. Everything is kind of like off the cuff. Things that I think of when it comes to my brain, or things that I see, or problems I'm dealing with, whatever. We talk about a little of everything. And so, you might miss some stuff if you don't finish the videos with me. On the other hand, you might be just happy to be done with me. Up to you. As I always say, it's totally up to you. But I do appreciate it when you hang around. So, alright, what we're going to do at this point is we will go through the shopping center, shopping experience. Then when we're done with that, we'll call it the end of the video. And then I might pick it up again for the Lake Arlington one on a separate video. I think that might be easier, otherwise it might be way too long. Because by the time we get back towards the Lake Arlington area, that would have been a while. Let me take a look at our trip meter, find out how far have we gone. 10 miles. 10.2 miles actually, to be exact. From whence I started the recordings, that is, not where I'm from. I usually start the recordings a little bit after I've ridden for a while. I always started around the same spot. But by that time I would have rode a little bit to get to that spot, and I always started at the exact same spot, so you probably always notice the same starting points. I don't know, just I guess the force of habit. I started my videos in the past, always started it that way. And so I just kind of continued that was my starting spot. So I would have been riding a little bit more beyond that 10.2 miles already. Here, you think you're safe, but if you look up ahead, we run out of this section, then you're back on the road again. So this is why having that side view mirror is kind of critical. It kind of lets you know what's coming up from behind. If you don't have a mirror, you don't know what's happening to you. So I have been throttling and pedaling during this ride, but mostly throttling as I usually do. A lot of times when I'm recording, I don't like to pedal. I tend to throttle more than I do anything else, because it's just I don't have to think about it then, you know. And I don't want to sound winded when I'm talking to you guys. If I'm pedaling and I'm exerting some energy there, you might hear me breathing really hard and everything. It doesn't make for an interesting video. So a lot of times I'll throttle it, and then when I'm done recording with you guys, a lot of times on the way back, I'll start pedaling and stuff. All right, we're gonna have to turn here, but I gotta let this car pass me. So you see right in front of us is Costco. There's many Costcos. This is not the only Costco. I go to like 3 or 4 Costcos. Depending on where I'm at. There's Costcos all over the place around here. And this is the Mount Prospect Costco. So we'll just kind of ride through the area. This is all right. This would be the type of thing where they said no bike riding, no skateboarding. Remember we talked about that? So what I'm doing is probably what they don't want you to do. Well, until they stop me, I guess I'll just continue to go. Costco's to our right. And of course, with many Costco's, there's a lot of people coming and going out of this area here. So they really don't want you to kind of cut through, but I need to get by. All right, we're gonna head out this way. Big water tower ahead of us. It says Randhurst, I believe. Yeah, I remember when they ripped apart this shopping mall, turned it into this outdoor mall, or outdoor shopping experience. Is that what they call it? An experience? I don't know what they call it. Randhurst Village Drive. Randhurst Village, I guess it's called now. So let's show you some stuff. Over on the right side, there's Old Navy, Michaels, and DSW. On the left side, oops, let's go down this way here. What do we got? Mod Pizza, Hangry Joe's, Hot Chicken and Wings, Poke Brothers, Fresh Fish Hawaiian Style. So they have shops on the outsides of it. They have shops on the insides of it. What do they got down here? Off on the left. I'm just grabbing the camera here. There's Panera Bread, GNC, Nothing Bunt Cakes. Actually, I had one recently. Our church bought a bunch of bunt cakes for Mother's Day. Small little individual bunt cakes. There's more shops on the left over there. I'm not going to go there. TJ Maxx over here on the right. So they bought a whole bunch of bunt cakes and gave it out to everybody during Mother's Day. Alright, let's go over this way. So on the left there's McAllister's Deli, Pilates place, some other thing. There's also over here, let me show you this. They actually have a hotel here. They have a hotel here along with others. There's TJ Maxx over here. Let me see. I think we got to go this way. There's more shops on the right there. I mean, the way it's laid out, it's more open, I guess. But I kind of like indoor malls. I don't know about you. Home Goods over here on our right-hand side. Home Goods. Okay, I think this is. Yeah, this is where. Is this where the hotel is? No, further up, I don't know. And there's a Jewel food store ahead. There's an AMC theater. These are small shops out here. They're missing a lot of shops. I think when the pandemic happened, it closed down a lot of the shops. The movie theater out here. Let me go to the right here. I think down this section here is a lot of missing things. There's a Korean barbecue place here. Mr. Kimchi, it says. That's new. I don't think that was there before. These are all empty stores. Or soon to be coming stores. Phoenix Salon. Fitness Center. Yeah, where is the? Oh, okay, Hampton Inn Suites. That's over on the left side right there. That's a hotel. So yeah, it's got everything. It's got a hotel. It's got shops, theater, Costco, you name it. Get out of this roundabout here. All right, let's head back. All right, let's see. Let's head down this way. Old Navies and Michaels. Trying to figure out what's the best way to head back. But yeah, there's places to visit here, right? It's not very busy now. Kids are still in school. People are working. So yeah, it's a good time to go out to do things like this. Once things open up with kids coming out of school and everything, everything changes at that point, right? All right. How do I head out of this? There's a PetSmart here. All right, I'm just gonna head back. If I do make it to Lake Arlington, I will turn ourselves back on. Otherwise, I may just call it a single thing and head back home. Got to pick up my product before someone steals it out of the porch. They call them porch pirates, right? See them on the Ring camera stuff now. People post about these people who drive by and just grab your stuff and run. So yeah, I should probably head back. Maybe we'll skip Lake Arlington. We'll save it for another day. It'll be another ride. Anyways, I appreciate you guys following along. If this has been fun for you, go ahead and hit that like button. And then hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. That really does help me out. We are now at, I think, 14,400 people, something like that. So appreciate it. We're heading towards that 15,000. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys next time.